Happy Tuesday, guys! Today we're going to be reading about a dark night in the garden. Remember yesterday Jesus and his close friends went to the Olive Garden, so we're going to read about what happened in that garden today. The wind was picking up now, blowing clouds across the moon, shrouding the garden in darkness. "Stay up with me," Jesus asked his friends. They said yes and waited under the olive trees, but they were very tired and soon fell asleep. Jesus walked ahead alone into the dark. He needed to talk to his heavenly Father. He knew it was time for him to die. They had planned it a long time ago, he and his Father. Jesus was going to take the punishment for all the wrong things anybody had ever done or would ever do. "Papa, Father," Jesus cried, and he fell on the ground. "Is there any other way for you to get your children back, to heal their hearts, to get rid of the poison?" But Jesus knew there was no other way. All the poison of sin was going to have to go into his own heart. God was going to pour into Jesus' heart all the sadness and brokenness in people's hearts. And he was going to pour into Jesus' body all the sickness in people's bodies. God was going to have to blame his son for everything that had gone wrong. It would crush Jesus. And there's Jesus praying to God in the background while his friends fell asleep under the olive tree. But don't be sad, friends. This is a hard story, but there's always hope. God always wins. So let's read what happens next. But there was something else, something even more horrible. When people ran away from God, they lost God. It was what happened when they ran away. Not being close to God was like a punishment. Jesus was going to take that punishment for us. Jesus knew what that meant. He was going to lose his Father, and that, Jesus knew, would break his heart in two. Violent sobs shook out Jesus' whole body. Then Jesus was quiet like a lamb. "I trust you, Papa. Whatever you say, I will do." So Jesus is praying and he trusts God. So he knows in the end, even though it'll be a hard time, this will turn out to be the best story you've ever heard and the best thing that's ever happened. Suddenly, through the trees, a glitter of starlight flashed off steel. Into the quiet garden came whispers, muffled voices, and clanking metal, and the sound of the boots marching. Jesus stood up. He woke his friends. "Now is the time," he said gently. "Everything that was written about me, what God has been telling his people all through the long years, is all coming true." And into the night, the burning torches and lanterns with swords and clubs and armor, they came, an army of soldiers. Judas led them straight to Jesus so that they could arrest him. Jesus was waiting for them. So there's Jesus and his friends and Judas and the army, and they're coming to arrest Jesus. Peter leapt up, took the sword, and tried to defend Jesus. He sliced off an ear of the guard. Jesus immediately touched the guard and healed him, putting his ear back on. "Peter," he said, "this is not the way." Peter didn't realize that no army, no matter how big, could ever arrest Jesus. Not unless Jesus let them. So there's Peter fighting, and there's Jesus healing the soldier. Then Jesus, who had never done anything except love people, was arrested, as if he were a criminal. Jesus' friends were afraid, so they ran away and hid in the dark shadows. The guards marched Jesus off and took him to the leaders. The leaders put Jesus on trial. "Are you the Son of God?" they asked. "I am," said Jesus. "Who do you think you are to call yourself God? You must die for calling yourself the Son of God." Only the Romans were allowed to kill prisoners, so the leaders made a plan. "We'll tell the Romans this man wants to be our king, and then they will crucify him. But it would be all right. It was God's plan," said Jesus. "It was for this reason that I was born into the world," Jesus said. Okay, I know we ended on a sad note today, friends, but tomorrow we're going to read another story, and at the end of that story, there is so much great hope. I hope you have a great Tuesday. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.